What's up, everybody? This is Errol from ArrowTheAdventurer.com. You are listening to Errol the Adventurer, the podcast. How's everybody doing today? I personally have been feeling achy and tired, but I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. So, I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope it gets better for you, no matter who you are. So, today's topic, I was thinking about racism, xenophobia, which is basically just a fear or dislike or disdain for things that are different. Like when it comes to people, sociologically speaking, I guess, things that are different, cultures, languages, skin colors, hair textures, eye colors, religious beliefs, philosophical beliefs, etc. But most specifically, I was thinking about racism. Not that it means anything to anybody, but I am extremely proud of this generation, generations to come, and the generation before us, because we've really been going in the paint with this whole making love not war thing. Because some people went to war against people for being different, and what that a lot of those people do, they made love. They made a whole lot of love and made a whole lot of pretty babies in the process. And so now you got people, they got grandkids now, and it's just an eye opener. It's almost like God was noticing what was going on between our petty differences, and God was mix up the people. And that's what we did. We did it. We're doing it. We did it. I'm going to give you a prime example of the present and what could possibly be the future. So, we can start. We'll start with me. I actually have 4 children by the same woman. We broke up 2013. At the time of this recording that I'm doing this podcast, it is 2020. I had been with her since we were in high school, really since year 2001. And it just so happens, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm what a lot of people call black or African American. I looking at my picture, technically I could be from Papua New Guinea or Melanesian, but I'm not. I'm actually of American descent, African and American descent, very much American, contrary to popular belief. But yeah, Mississippi blood, even though I was born in Albany. A lot of my people came from Shibuya, Mississippi. We actually have a Wikipedia page called the Rap Road Community, RAPP. And it's one of the first time, or it's one of the few examples when an entire community left and started a community somewhere else, which made it significant. It was post-Underground Railroad, but still kind of Underground Railroad, because after slavery, a lot of ex-slaves were still tied to the land as sharecroppers, and they were legally in debt to landowners in the South, and they were threatened with prison, which they would still continue manual labor. So that's why a lot of my family and about 23 other families got the hell out of Shibuya, Mississippi, Clark County, in the 50s, in the 1950s, starting in the 1930s. Believe his name was Pastor Parson or Reverend Parsons, but he orchestrated that whole thing, and they bought land. Eventually ended up buying land in western Albany, which is still under the threat of eminent domain because Albany, New York is expanding. But we had that land for quite some time now before it was even developed, before there was like the malls and stuff out there. And now there's people want to build condominiums and stuff like that. But you could just look that up on Wikipedia. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. Because every year we have a family reunion. And there's about 5,000 of us. It's a pretty huge family. And I grew up down in Florida. Like, I lived in Albany till I was 8 years old. And, but I didn't grow up with that. But I actually have a pretty huge family, even though I grew up relatively alone when it comes to family bonds and things like that. My other side, Slaughter's pretty big too. They're from Alabama. And my dad, he's a retired drill sergeant, first class. My mom's granddad fought in the Civil War. Company G, 54th Regiment, Massachusetts. Very, very American stuff. Just not the type of stuff that you always hear. So, moving along to my kids. Their mother, ironically, is half white and half Filipino. She looks mostly Asian, or what you would call Asian, East Asian like, because technically Indians are Asians, and so are Arabic people. You know, one's South Asian, one's Southwest Asia, technically. It's all Eurasia. And ironically, her father's people is from the same area of New York, relatively, that my some of my answers are. They're from more of the Canadian border, St. Lawrence River area. My mother's granddad's from Canajoharie, which is not very far from there. It's not Albany. It's but it's like really upstate. And my kid's grandmother is from the Philippines, Palau, Zambales, and that's pretty cool. We met through a mutual acquaintance, one of my old best friends and her cousin. Anyways, now if you just looked at one of my kids, well, if you looked at 3 out of 4 of my kids, they all look pretty much like, if they spoke a language fluently, you would just have to believe them. If it was Spanish, or if it was Arabic, or if it was Indian, or if it was Tagalog, whatever language that they chose to learn and speak, you would have to believe them. You couldn't deny them. They are brown-haired, or brown skin, like light brown skin, like cinnamon skin, straight hair to curly hair children. My oldest daughter is what you would call high yellow in the black community. She's pretty much clearly mixed black and white. But that's it just makes the story even that much more greater. Because I was absolutely sure that all my kids would have afro and have, like, Chinese looking eyes. I'm telling you how I was thinking. I know what's politically correct or not. That's what I thought they were gonna look. They all came out with straight hair and like brown skin, and that's because I also have like most Americans have a lot of Native American blood, especially if you're from Mississippi regions and stuff like that. A lot of mixing. There was a lot of mixing going on even before now between blacks, whites, and Native Americans, and eventually Chinese when they start coming over, because people are people, and people are attractive, and people like to fuck. So, I mean, it's kind of really that simple. As far as attraction goes, anyways. So, my thing is, and then they have an uncle. They love their Uncle Jay. His Uncle Jay has a white woman, my homegirl, a man. We'll call her Samantha. But and my little niece, or my ex niece, or whatever it was, because she was my niece for a long time. I call her Stella. Stella looks like a straight white girl. She's cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And then I have a nephew. Now, he's my sister's child. He's half Puerto Rican. Half bright-skinned Puerto Rican. Like when you go to New York and you see the you see people, you don't know if they're Italian or if they're Irish or if they're Puerto Rican. He one of them types. You feel me? And my nephew, he has a light complexion. Now, he has a baby with a chick who's also Puerto Rican, but half white. So my grandniece comes out very light. She has very light eyes, very light colored hair, but wavy, but naturally like brown. So my question is, how much can race, or what we think of as race, truly exist? Because I know we have phenotypes and genotypes. Race, most people say race doesn't really exist. How people look and what their genes are, can be very circumstantial. But my thing is, how much can it really exist if one of my 4 kids chooses a spouse or a partner of any what we call race or ethnic group, that's probably what that child's gonna look like. Which means I can rightfully assume that I probably will have a grandchild that looks like Stella, like almost all white. I'll probably have a grandchild that looks like me, like pretty much all black. And I'll probably have a bunch in the middle that are just brown and in the mix. These are really huge facts, and it can go back and forth. So what's the point of arguing about race if somebody can jump a race like in a couple generations? Black people have actually been doing that since we've been in America. What they call passing. Sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for bad reasons. Sometimes they act like they're oppressors. Sometimes they're like, I'm gonna use this shit to get in with their oppressors and help everybody else. I mean, we all in the same boat these days. There's just no doubt about that. We are all in the same boat. I don't know what Kool-Aid you're drinking. But we all in the same boat. You just might not know it yet. Everybody get their rude awakening day eventually. But I digress. I don't want to be divisive. I just want to make a point. What's the point of hating another race or what we call race? Because race don't even exist. It's so frustrating try to explain this, but you have to do double talk. Because on one hand you say, what's the point of race being anything to be concerned about? And on the other hand, you have to acknowledge that race don't even exist. It's just something that we see, say, oh, they're different from, you know what I'm saying? But they're not really different. And I've proven that with my life as an experience. As me, my kids, and their mother, the guinea pigs. And I guarantee you, I'm probably going to have blonde grandkids, afro grandkids, Chinese-looking grandkids. Grandkids could be anybody from anywhere in the world. And their granddaddy black and crazy, depending on who you ask. Like, they be like, that's your granddaddy? Yeah, that's my granddaddy. That actually happened a lot in the Spanish world. You know what I'm saying? Donde tu abuela? Donde tu abuelo? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these Spanish people are actually like have a lot of African heritage. They have a lot of European heritage. They have a lot of Native American heritage. And it pops out whenever it wants to. Anything. Like their children. Latinx. I guess that's the new term. Or Spanish speakers. I'll just say that. It's harder. I don't know. Because Latinx it's not like chauvinistic saying Latinos or Latinos. That's, I don't know. I guess it's gender divisive. I don't know. I'm just trying to get along. But sometimes you don't know how they baby gonna come out because they so mixed up. You know, and that's really a beautiful thing. Brazil's another example. Little known fact, Arabs are also, okay, everything around the Mediterranean is like the original place where stuff like that happened. But I digress. Why are we fighting, or why would anybody fight over something like how somebody look? When your blood, like in a generation or so, my descendants could look like a lot of different people in the world. They'd be like, that's my cousin. That's like, no, not my fake cousin. No, that's my blood cousin. Like, this one looks like he's from Europe. This one looks like he's from Africa. This one looks like he's from Vietnam. Cambodia. This one looks like he's from Mexico. I don't know if there's any difference between the last one. But anyways. But it'll be like, no, that's my blood cousin. That's we're like flesh and bones family. I'm not be like, yo, that's my cuz. Like, no, that's my real cousin. All these motherfuckers you're looking at are my blood cousins. They look like the world, bro. We did it. We fucking did it, bro. Fuck that shit. Fuck you if you're hating too, bro. Cause yeah, a lot of people that hate black people love their black grandkids. A lot of black people that hate white people love their white grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else in the middle. You know what I'm saying? I go to show you that love has to conquer everything. Love conquers like a motherfucker. I mean, violence, I guess it can be fun, and it sounds good when you're talking about it, but shit, people get hurt real easily, real fast. Making love is better. Nice is good. You know what I'm saying? Being nice is good. Why do people be mean when you know nice is good? I don't understand that. Like, if you have the option of somebody being mean to you and the option of somebody being nice to you, why would you choose me? It goes the other way around. If you could choose to be nice to someone or be mean to somebody, why would you be mean? It don't just affect the other person. It totally affects you too. It totally affects you too. It slowly changes you into something that you hopefully originally didn't want to be. And eventually you become a fucking monster. And not the good, awesome kind, like the Hulk. Superman. He's a monster too. No, you be like Hitler monster. Eventually, if you keep feeding it. Do you really want to be Hitler? Like people, there are people in this world who think it's kind of cool. Like, do you really want to be Hitler? Do you even know what that means? Have you ever seen people suffer? Have you ever been a cause of people suffering? Have you suffered? Why would... I don't know. I can't answer those questions. You know? It's just weird. Anyways, I'm gonna move along. Because, yeah, I gotta move along now. So, by the way, this was brought to you by ArrowTheAdventurer.com. Check out the website. Check me out on YouTube. I have a lot more videos on YouTube. Check me out on Instagram. All by the same name of this podcast. And definitely follow me on Spotify for this podcast. And as you know, you might be hearing random creatures because, well, I'm in my forest right now because this is where I come to think. This is one of my thinking places. So, let's do a little bit of speculative science. One time I was smoking some real good kush. And I was drinking. And I just zoned out. And what I realized was, no matter how far you zoom out or how far you zoom in, you're always going to see something. Like, if you zoom out from what you can see right now, you'll zoom out, you'll see, houses. Zoom out, you'll see the city. Zoom out, you'll see the state, some bodies of waters, rivers and such. Zoom out, you see the planet. Zoom out, you see a couple more planets. Zoom out, you see the solar system. Zoom out, you see the galaxy. Zoom out, you see a bunch of galaxies. Zoom out, more bunches of galaxies. But different shapes and sizes. Zoom in from the same spot. You're gonna see your skin. Zoom in, you're gonna see the hairs. Zoom in, you're gonna see the little crusted stuff on your skin and hairs. Zoom in, you're gonna see eventually molecules, stuff like that. Zoom in, you're gonna see micro organisms. Zoom in, you're gonna see quarks. You know what I'm saying? Atoms and quarks and things like that. And we just don't have the power to keep zooming in or out. But what I do know is the more you zoom in and the more you zoom out, you are always going to have a different perspective on things. there was always going to be something there. Like, that's another version of infinity. Some people think of infinity only as like a measure of time, but that's kind of infinity too. Like, because it doesn't stop. Like, infinity is space too. Time and space. You know what I mean? So, that's something I like to think about. Because since a kid, I've always imagined like different perspectives, and I can see myself like looking from the eyes of other things. You know, not literally, of course, but I can imagine it by observing, you know, the things around it. I can imagine and just, you know, put it together in my mind. Like, if I was there, this is what it would look like. I mean, to the best of my ability. It might not be 100% accurate, but it's a start. So, I got 4 more minutes till I'm at 30 minutes. So, I'm going to go by one more thing. Not buy one more thing. You know what I mean? One more thing I was thinking about. It was 2017. I see my first solar eclipse. Maybe it was 2018. 2017. All this time that the moon was moving in front of the sun, you really wouldn't have known it until the moon was directly in front of the sun. Until then, you could see the moon partially moving in front of the sun if you had these special glasses on. And then you can see, it's not, the moon is right there, going in front of the sun, piece by piece. But here's what I took out of that experience. How can something so close and so big as the moon be right over our heads and we don't even know it's there? Unless we had, 1, special glasses on, 2, we were looking for it. The whole moon, like, it's pretty huge. And it's pretty close. And it could sit in broad daylight if it's by the sun, and we wouldn't even know it's there. Did anybody take that out of the experience? Or am I the only one? It's all good either way. That's why I'm Arrow from ArrowTheAdventurer.com. And this is Arrow the Adventurer, the podcast. Please follow me on Spotify. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. And all that other good shit. Follow me on Twitter. I'm there too. But I usually post my stuff to Instagram and YouTube first and foremost. I haven't updated the website in a short time. Right now, it's an awesome landing page, but hell, check that out too. So, and it also has links to my all my social media. So, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate your time. And you'll know why if you go to my website. Because one of my first things is about time. I also have like little nature videos when I'm interacting with the animals. Because, you know, tech love the animals. You know what I'm saying? Got my doll friends video. I call them my doll friends. Not like dolls like Barbie Playhouse dolls, like dolphins. Like, they were in the river. They were in the Indian Atlantic River. And I used to drink beer and sing and dance on the bank. It was like a concrete river bank. And they used to come hang out on this end and swim around and fish and hang out. Well, like on one of my videos there, they just come up right up. Oh, the main one I call Kissy Air, which means kiss the air. You know, because she would always pop up, you know, and see what I'm doing. You know, so I call her Kissy or Kissy Air. And she come right up to me on a video. It's pretty awesome. And I got other nature videos because, I'm an adventurer and stuff. But this is Arrow the Adventurer from arrowtheadventurer.com. Thank you for listening. Tune back in. Peace.